Hey, what's up you guys? John from Old Running Farm here. Thanks for joining me. A very exciting video today. We are going to be upgrading the dust collection on my CNC machine. If you missed it in one of our previous videos, this is our new CNC machine, which is the CNC Long Mill MK2 or 2.5. I can't remember exactly which. It's a 48 by 30 CNC machine, which means I have a 48 inch by 30 inch workspace area. And so what I want to do, number one, I have this Harbor Freight dust collection system, but it goes into a 5-gallon bucket, and that bucket fills up super quick, and that top is a pain in the butt to get off. So I want to do two things. I want to make the collection system bigger, and I want to make it easier to take off. So I have this scrap piece of medium density fiberboard, otherwise known as MDF, and I have this giant white tub, what would you call that thing? This thing. That was from my parents' old water softener, something doohickey. I also have all of these bubbles. Did you know it is so much cheaper to buy bubbles by the pallet than it is to buy bubbles individually at the store? The things you know. Anyway, so we're here in the big house, aka John's workshop. And we're going to work on that today. Is there anything else? No, I think that's about it. Sorry it's so messy. Let's look over here. Ah. John's got all his tools over here. He's got his planer in here. Like I showed you in the other CNC video, I have this here welcome sign that I made. And it's a little rough. You can see there's some scrippy scraps out here. There's also some stuff on the inside. Now, ideally, it would finish nicer than this. I was also thinking I may need to do a bow tie up here, which I can do with that, which would be kind of cool. Maybe I will try that. Ooh, maybe that's what I'll do for the router thing. That would be so cool. Because you see this crack here. So a bow tie would go across here and sort of pull those two pieces together. Oh, wouldn't that be cool? Yes, that would be cool. Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna take this piece of fiberboard and basically cut a hole in it, like smaller than this, so that I can just attach this piece on top of there. And that way I can have it sit here. I also have a little hose extension kit, so I can hopefully have the hose fit over there. Because basically, what happens is, so this is connected to a shop vac. The shop vac is going to pull air, etc., through here. And then this is just a little cyclone thing, so that when it pulls the sawdust through here, it's too heavy to get pulled up through here and into the shop vac itself. So it falls down and fills up this bucket. But again, this thing fits so tight on here that it's a pain in the neck. So I'm just gonna cut a little hole on here so that it fits onto that thing. And then I'm gonna point at this, and I'm gonna do a lot of pointing and pointing over here and pointing over there. Man, I'm funny. Anyway, let's get to work. All right, so before I actually do anything in here, I have these shop lights that I wanna hang up because there's no actual light in here except for the sun. But then, especially I can tell when I keep filming, I get backlit. But also, I want to get this all set up for winter. And when it's winter, it's going to get dark at like 4:30. So I need to be able to have some lights in here. So these should be quick to set up. So I'm going to just hang some of these lights up. I got 4 shop lights. And yeah, let's see how I get them plugged in. right, so we got 3 of the 4 shop lights installed, which is very handy. So, I mean, obviously I got sort of wires hanging down everywhere, but I mean, it is what it is. Not gonna be my dream workshop, but as long as I can get stuff done, that's good. So I think I'm gonna save the 4th one because I'm gonna need a work table in here at some point. All right, so, whew, sweating. So I got the hose here. So that's actually great. That hose is like twice as long as the other one. So I'll be able to easily have my little tub right here and have that going over there. And then I can also take my little planer, put that against the window. It should be all good. I'm looking forward to it. Seems like it's gonna be good. I got the top off here. So now I'm gonna start working on my little doodad, Uzi What's It, and cut a hole in my MDF. Take that off there. I'm gonna put the MDF on there. I'm gonna put the MDF on the tub. I'm gonna do all kinds of stuff and then check it back in with you guys. So it is certainly not the prettiest thing, but this is now heavy enough that this should be able to just sit on here and create enough of a seal, hopefully. And so now this is plenty long enough. And now instead of, cause like the other, this is the top. And so to try to pry this thing off of that bucket took so much effort. And you know, after a while I found it's gonna, I mean, look at the size difference between those two. So I'm looking forward to seeing if this works, and now I can test it by seeing if I'm able to pick up this mess here. So let's see if that works. All right, so I found that there is definitely some loss of suction, but I think that was more, I blocked it off and then it like sort of jumped around. Oh, and there's actually, I don't see any, okay, I don't see. All right, so there's barely anything down there. So that tells me that this, okay, I'm gonna turn the lights on, it's a little dark here. So, that's better. So here's the final setup that I have here, and it's definitely not exactly where I want it to be at. It's not pretty, but so you'll see, so I have this hose hanging up here. You know, this thing moves around. I also have this little bungee cord right here, because when you're zeroing the CNC router, you can't have the dust collector on it, but that way it's just not sitting. And then you can see I have it going over here. So the problem that I found is that when I have the shop vac going, it creates so much suction that it actually deforms this plastic tub here. And what I found the last time is the filter that I had on the shop vac looked like this. Gross. But also I think that's the filter that came with that shop vac, and that shop vac was bought before Catherine and I were married. We've been married for 7 years, so it's old. just like me, I'm gonna turn 38 this year. Ah! But anyway, so I got a new filter for the shop vac, and so that worked. Because what had happened was previously, so the last thing you saw was me saying, oh, there's barely any dust in here. It's probably all in the shop vac. No, it was all over there. Because what happens when you don't have a filter on the shop vac, or if you have a filter that has a giant hole in it, it's just gonna shoot it out the exit port of the shop vac. So that's what happened. So I cleaned that up, got a new filter for the shop vac, and now it is working well. The only problem is there's so much suction that it's deforming this, and it's like getting little holes on the side, so then it creates less suction. So there's like too much of a vacuum in there. So I don't know if maybe, you know, if I just drill some holes, that might work. Or, you know, I am regretting cutting this so close to the actual size of this thing, because if it were bigger, I think it would work better. So what I've been doing is I just take this off and I put this on top of the bucket, and then it works just fine. And so that might need to be my move from now on, because it's just way easier to do this. This looks like something from Dr. Seuss back here. It's kind of funny. But you know, it actually works pretty well. And so if I wanted to use my planer, which is right over here, I can actually just disconnect this part right here, and this black plastic thing fits right over the exit port on that. So obviously this is not the fanciest dust collection system ever. And I mean, you know, maybe someday, I was actually looking at it, I should have just bought like an actual dust collector system, because it's with the different pieces that I had to get for this, you know, I could have spent well, I guess no, that's not true. So it would have been probably 2 to 3 times what I've spent so far on an actual dust collector system, which, I mean, may or may not be worth it. You know, we'll see how well this goes, and maybe next year, if it becomes a necessity. I mean, if I'm doing woodworking in here all the time, that might be helpful to have. But I think this works for right now. And yeah, I just cut up a bunch of blanks. You'll see I made a mess over here. I'm gonna need to get a work table in here at some point. I'm gonna need to actually build one. So these are some of the final pieces I got. So this is the last one I did. It came out a little messier than I wanted. It required a lot of cleaning, and I don't know if it's just because it's wet or what. I'm not sure if this is even gonna work. But you know, like, so this is another one that I did. And maybe it's just because this is a much cleaner cut that it worked better, or maybe it's because of the grain on this. I'm really unsure, but like, you look how clean. I mean, I didn't sand this at all, and it just came out real nice. But anyway, I guess we'll see, because I mean, maybe that'll look fine, or maybe we'll just burn the crap out of it and see how it goes. Anyway, so I have a few other upgrades that I like to make in here. You know, I have the pegboard right there. I'd like to have some shelves, just because I have, you know, various sundry tools it would be more convenient to have on shelves than hanging from the pegboard. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the dust collector system. I'll have to figure out something that's a better solution than what I currently have, which was the goal of this video, but it didn't happen. And yeah, so I don't know if I even just drill a couple holes in the lid here, if that'll do enough to prevent it deforming the thing. I don't really know. Because I was also thinking, again, I was sad that I had cut this too tight, because if this were wider, then I could screw little pieces on here to hold it better. But, you know, you live, you learn, and sometimes you lose, but that's okay. Anyway, thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.